When you think of the Middle Ages, do you imagine knights saving princesses? Stop right there. That's a Disney fever dream. In reality, these aristocrats in itchy silk living in drafty castles had only two hobbies: killing each other in wars, and, well, sleeping with their neighbor's wife. Today, we're exposing the most absurd history of medieval extracurricular activities. Remember, in the Middle Ages, noble marriage was never about love. It was a corporate merger. For the sake of land and heirs, you'd marry a cousin you've never met who might still be losing her baby teeth. Love was a luxury found strictly outside the bedroom. Don't be brainwashed by chivalry. The concept of courtly love was essentially a high-end, officially sanctioned cheating manual. The rules were simple. A knight must fall madly in love with a noble lady who was higher ranked than him, and crucially, already married. Imagine this: you write erotic poems to your lord's wife, wear her handkerchief, and bleed for her in a tournament, while the lord claps and says, "What a polite young lad." It wasn't a scandal, it was fashion. As long as you weren't caught in bed, it was considered a noble spiritual connection. Of course, the lords weren't all idiots. They allegedly came up with the most notorious invention in history, the chastity belt. While modern historians doubt their widespread use, the concept represented peak paranoia. However, human ingenuity is infinite. Records suggest locksmiths were doing brisk business because someone always had a master key. The weirdest part: if a noble was caught red-handed, the punishment often wasn't death, but social suicide. In some regions, the adulterous couple would be forced to walk naked through the entire town while crowds watched, like it was a circus. This was basically the medieval version of being cancelled on Twitter. The church preached that adultery leads to hell, but they were busy opening back doors for the rich. If you wanted to legally swap your wife, you couldn't get a divorce. Instead, you'd claim, "Wait, I just realized my wife is my distant cousin." What the? As long as you could prove you shared an ancestor within 7 generations, which was easy since everyone was related, the marriage was annulled. Nobles used this loophole to dump their wives and marry their mistresses with a holy blessing. So, medieval noble life wasn't just clashing swords on a battlefield. It was a complex game of political maneuvering and emotional smuggling played in bedrooms and church shadows. Adultery wasn't just lust, it was a byproduct of power. Next time you see those solemn portraits of lords and ladies, remember, behind that serious face, there's likely a spare key to the neighbor's back door. Follow me, the next one is even weirder.